Marriage is near, but the reason they've waited will stun you. Marriage. It is one of the deepest longings of the human heart, one of the most beautiful mysteries of life, and for many, it feels like the very crown of love's journey. Yet for countless souls, marriage also feels like a delayed promise. You prepare, you pray, you hope, and still, the waiting lingers. If you are here today, perhaps you are one of those souls. You feel it deep inside. Marriage is near. You can sense that something is shifting in your life, but at the same time, you find yourself wondering, why have I waited so long? The truth is powerful. Your marriage is closer than you think, but the reason you have waited will stun you. And for the next 30 minutes, I want to walk with you through this journey, exploring why waiting feels so hard, why it lasts longer than expected, and what hidden purpose lies within it. Let us begin with this truth. Waiting is never easy. In a world of instant messaging, fast food, and overnight deliveries, being asked to wait feels unnatural. You look around and see others moving forward, friends celebrating engagements, relatives having weddings, neighbors raising families. And inside you may whisper, "What about me? Why am I still here?" But I want you to hear this clearly. The waiting is not wasted. The waiting is not punishment. The waiting is part of a plan that is bigger than your timing, stronger than your fears, and more beautiful than you can imagine. The misunderstanding of delay. Most people misunderstand delay. We often think delay means denial. If something has not happened yet, we assume it never will. But delay is not denial. Delay is preparation. Delay is alignment. Delay is the invisible work of life arranging things behind the scenes so that when the promise arrives, it comes in fullness. Think about a farmer. He plants seeds into the soil. For weeks, sometimes months, nothing appears above the ground. But just because the surface is quiet does not mean nothing is happening. Beneath the soil, roots are forming, life is stirring, growth is taking place. At the right time, the seed breaks through the surface and becomes visible. Your marriage has been like that seed. To the outside world, it may look like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface of your life, deep work has been happening. Your heart has been maturing, your mind has been reshaped, your destiny has been aligned. And when the right season comes, the promise will break forth, suddenly, visibly, beautifully. Why the waiting will stun you here is the part that stuns many. The reason you have waited is not what you thought. Many blame themselves. They say, maybe I'm not attractive enough. Maybe I'm not spiritual enough. Maybe I'm not worthy of love. But the truth is, the reason is far greater. You were not waiting because you were unworthy. You were waiting because your marriage is not ordinary. The person destined for you is not just another partner. They are someone whose presence in your life will multiply your purpose, amplify your destiny, and expand your future. That kind of union cannot be rushed. That kind of union cannot be thrown together casually. It requires timing, preparation, and divine alignment. Sometimes you had to wait because the person you are destined to marry was not yet ready. They were still being shaped by life's experiences, still being healed of past wounds, still being positioned in the right place for your paths to cross. Sometimes you had to wait because you were not yet ready, not because you were unworthy, but because your heart still needed growth, your mind still needed clarity, your spirit still needed maturity. Other times the wait was about breaking patterns. Perhaps in your family line, there were cycles of broken marriages, divorces, betrayals, or loneliness. Before your marriage could manifest, those cycles had to be confronted and broken. You are not just waiting for marriage. You are waiting to build a covenant that will last, a covenant that will stand as a testimony, not a tragedy. That is why the reason will stun you, because it was never about lack. It was about protection. It was about destiny. It was about something bigger than what your eyes could see. Stories hidden in waiting. Think of the story of Jacob in the Bible. He waited 14 years to marry Rachel, the love of his life. 14 years of labor, of watching time pass, of wondering when the promise would be fulfilled. And yet, when the day finally came, Jacob declared that those years felt like just a moment because of the love he carried. The waiting was worth it. Think of Sarah, who laughed when she was told she would bear a child in her old age. Decades of waiting made the promise seem impossible. But when it was fulfilled, the joy was so great that her laughter became a testimony. Your story may not look the same, but the principle is identical. Waiting often looks like silence, but it is the soil of miracles, the silent work of preparation. Let's look at preparation more closely. Many people underestimate what it means to be truly ready for marriage. It is not just about love, chemistry, or attraction. It is about patience, forgiveness, endurance, sacrifice, and shared vision. These are not qualities developed overnight. They are forged in the waiting. Perhaps your waiting season has taught you patience, learning to trust timing beyond your control. Perhaps it has taught you strength, discovering that you can stand even when you feel alone. Perhaps it has taught you faith, holding on to hope when evidence seems invisible. All of these lessons are not wasted. They are treasures you will carry into your marriage. Without them, the foundation could be weak. With them, your foundation is unshakable. The nearness of your promise. Now let me remind you of this. Your marriage is near. Even if you cannot see it yet, even if you cannot feel it yet, the shifts are already happening. Your story is closer to unfolding than you realize. Many times breakthrough comes suddenly, when it feels like nothing is moving. That is because preparation works in silence, and then manifestation happens in clarity. You may meet the right person in a place you least expect. You may realize that someone already in your circle is the one meant for you. You may encounter a stranger who feels strangely familiar because destiny has already tied you together. The moment will come, and when it does, you will see why the waiting was necessary. Gratitude in advance. One of the most powerful things you can do in your waiting season is to be grateful in advance. Gratitude unlocks peace. Gratitude keeps you from bitterness. Gratitude prepares your heart to receive. Instead of saying, "Why am I still waiting?" begin saying, "Thank you that my story is unfolding at the perfect time." Instead of saying, "Why them and not me?" begin saying, "I celebrate them and I know my time is coming." Gratitude turns waiting into worship. And when waiting becomes worship, it no longer feels like wasted time. The bigger picture, remember this. Marriage is not just about two people. It is about the bigger picture of destiny. Your union is meant to inspire others, to build a legacy, to shape the future. That is why it was worth the wait. That is why heaven took its time. That is why you will one day look back and say, "Now I see. The wait was worth it." So if you are listening to this right now, let your heart be comforted. Your marriage is near. Your waiting was not in vain. The reason behind the wait is more powerful than you imagined. It will stun you, but in the most beautiful way. Beloved child of God, let us go deeper. The preparation you and your future spouse have walked through was not wasted. It was strategic. You were not waiting in vain. You were being molded for a higher purpose. Just as gold must pass through the fire before it shines, your spirit had to endure seasons of refining. God says He was teaching you to be whole on your own, so that when He brings your spouse, you would not see them as the missing piece, but as a divine complement. Two whole people in Him create a powerful union, not two broken halves clinging out of desperation. That is why the wait felt long. It was the work of wholeness being completed within you. Your spouse too was being trained. They were learning humility and wealth. They were learning purity and temptation. They were learning obedience in silence. And now, just as Ruth was positioned in the right field at the right time to meet Boaz, so God is positioning both of you for a divine encounter that will shift everything. Take a moment and let that truth settle in your spirit. Could it be that every not yet from God was really a wait until it's perfect? Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." This is the season when hidden prayers become visible answers. Now here is what you will notice as this marriage draws near. There will be an undeniable sense of recognition. It may not make sense to your mind, but your spirit will leap. just as Elizabeth's baby leaped when Mary entered the room, Luke 1:41. So your spirit will leap at the presence of the one God prepared for you. They will carry a peace that silences your fears. They will carry a purity that melts away your doubts. They will see you not for your past mistakes, but for the destiny God has placed inside you. This is why concerns about age, appearance, or status no longer matter, because in God's plan, what is written cannot be erased by human opinions. Remember Genesis 24, when Abraham's servant prayed for a sign to find Isaac's wife? God orchestrated every detail so clearly that there was no room for confusion. In the same way, the Lord says your steps will be ordered. There will be signs so obvious that even your hesitation will be met with confirmation. Beloved, your union is more than love. It is ministry. It is business. It is generational healing. Where your bloodline knew cycles of poverty, this marriage will usher abundance. Where your family saw broken homes, this marriage will bring restoration. Where there was silence in worship, this marriage will raise altars of prayer. Take a deep breath and reflect on this. Could your future marriage be the answer to prayers prayed by ancestors you never met? God works generationally, and He says your union is not just for you, but for children and children's children. Isaiah 61:9 promises, "Their descendants will be known among the nations and their offspring among the peoples. All who see them will acknowledge that they are a people the Lord has blessed." This is why the warfare around your marriage has been so intense. The enemy tried to make you settle for counterfeits, tried to break your trust, tried to weary your faith. But God protected you even when you didn't see it. Every almost relationship that failed was not rejection, it was protection. Heaven would not let you marry someone who could not carry the assignment with you. And now, here you are, standing at the threshold of manifestation. The delay had purpose, the tears had purpose, the silence had purpose, and the purpose is about to reveal itself in a way that will make you say, "Lord, you truly write the best stories." Beloved, let gratitude be your weapon in this season. Thank God daily for what He is about to do, even if you do not yet see it. Speak words of faith over your future spouse. Pray blessings over their life, even before you meet them face to face. Job 22:28 says, "You will also declare a thing, and it will be established for you. So light will shine on your ways." Your declarations are preparing the atmosphere for manifestation. Take one final reflective pause. Ask yourself, am I ready to embrace this love without fear? Am I ready to steward this marriage for God's glory? Am I ready to trust that what He delayed, He is now releasing in perfection? If your heart says yes, then hear this clearly. Your waiting season is ending. Your marriage is near. And the reason for the wait will no longer feel like a burden, but like a divine testimony. Psalm 126:2 declares, "Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them." Soon, beloved, it will be said of you, the Lord has done great things. If this message spoke to your spirit, lift your faith and type in the comments, "Blessed and ready." Let the world and heaven know that you are aligned with God's timing. Like this video if you received confirmation. Comment "Blessed and ready" below to seal this word in your spirit. Subscribe to Angel Code Message channel for more divine insight and prophetic confirmation straight from the heart of God. May the Lord bless you, may He keep you, and may His face shine upon you as He brings forth the marriage He has ordained. Amen.